What's going on, guys? Hundo here, rapper, health coach out of Denver, Colorado, checking in. Yeah, that's my super fancy recording studio, as you see, just on par every time. This fucking door needs to stop swinging into the shot. Stop, door. Anyways, here I am. I'm gonna enjoy my plate of vegetables as I talk about this topic. That's right, you read it. Veganism and cruelty-free diets, okay? There's this this impression, I guess you could say, that vegans are under the impression, or anybody that follows a vegan diet is under the impression that as long as you are not eating an animal product such as meat, eggs, milk, or dairy, then you are causing no harm or death to any animals, right? And this creates an uproar between the vegans and the non-vegans, right? Because you got non-vegans going, you stupid fucking vegan. You're causing all kinds of death still, you idiot. That plate of vegetables you got there causes all sorts of death. The farmers say, you see all those vegetables? I got a farm right there. You know how many fucking rodents and mice and insects and rabbits and jack-o'-lantern fucking hybrid rabbits and wolves and bear wolves and fucking mountain lions I gotta kill just to fucking grow those beans for your ass? Tons of them. Well, you're right. You're absolutely right, okay? Because the truth of it is, why can you only see the fucking, I gotta lower down a little bit. The truth of it is, it all causes death, right? It all causes death because agriculture itself, farming, animals and insects are everywhere. And no matter what, where you grow food, especially good food, animals are going to try to eat it too because animals eat the same thing. So you're going to have all these little small insects and rodents getting chewed up in fucking tractors and all this shit. So it's like, wow. Let's look at the whole picture. Let's look at really what's going on. There's all this death going on everywhere, no matter what you do, right? So some people take that ideology and go, so in that case, we should continue going so far the wrong direction because who gives a fuck? So let's just farm animals in animal agriculture and farm tons of different types of animals that aren't really even naturally in population on Earth. Pigs, sheep, cows, cattle, pork, all this fucking shit. I already said pigs, but my point is, you farm all these animals that don't normally exist because death is inevitable anyways, right? Well, that is the absolute wrong direction you should think about it. Just because you're still killing animals with like, let's think about it, right? Do I want there to be any fucking animals killed in this process? No, of course not. Is it possible to have 0 animals killed? No, of course not. There's always going to be some death of some sort. But the ideology behind the whole fucking vegan diet or whatever is to minimize as much as realistically possible, okay? It never says eliminate all to 0, Some people, of course, go vegan and then they, naively accept that false claim and think that because they're only eating fruits and vegetables that there's no death behind their food. But what's important to remember is the death that is behind this is a lot less in amount and a lot less in intensity and torture than the death that's happening in slaughterhouses and animal agriculture. I don't know why I have such a weird accent right now, but it's, it's just coming out of me. But anyways, my point is, there's no way to stop it all. And animals in animal agriculture eat grain. They eat soy, they eat corn, they eat wheat. They basically eat all these plant foods that are already grown. So for the animal agriculture, for when you're eating meat and dairy and stuff, you're literally growing the grain, farming the grain, killing all the insects and small rodents and animals, the same amount that you're killing when you're harvesting and growing broccoli, carrots, and potatoes for humans to eat. And then you're feeding it to another living animal, letting that animal live for a little while, and then slaughtering that animal. So that's a double slaughter. You're slaughtering all these animals for the food, feeding that food to these animals, and then slaughtering those animals. That's just like, It's just like taking the slaughter and death and torture and hitting a fucking multiplier on it. Just because it's inevitable that it happens in some amount anyway. That is so logically the wrong way to think, okay? You have to think about it this way, right? Okay, well, we're growing grains and we're growing plant foods, and they're killing rodents and small insects anyways. So are we gonna grow those grains and stuff and then just feed them to more animals and then eat those animals because we like the taste, even though those animals are causing us to have disease, chronic disease, and killing us all over the planet, giving us heart disease, cancer, and making us drop dead, giving us diabetes? My point is, it's not the ideal way to go. And of course, if we could eliminate all death, we would, but you can't. So you gotta go with the best and easiest, most realistic option. And that's taking the meat and dairy and eggs and animal products off your plate, because you have to eat. And what is the human body designed to eat? Plant foods. So why would you have meat, dairy, and eggs or animal products on your plate with your vegetables when those products cause double the death and torture, and they're not needed for nutrition or necessity and health? And the vegetables on your plate do cause death, but they're needed for your health. And think about it this way. Let's say everybody adopts the same ideology and ditches animal products. Then we're able to just solely focus on the death that's happening in agriculture with fucking rodents, small animals, and insects and stuff like that. You can hone in and try and start changing practices to try and start prevent killing insects and small rodents. You know what I mean? You can just keep continuing in the direction of less death instead of continuing in the direction of more death. I just don't understand why people would accept the ideology of, okay, well, you kill something anyways no matter what, so let's just eat a bunch of fucking even more torturous shit. Think about the death that happens in growing like vegetables, right? It's like it gets chewed up real quick by a fucking blade, or it gets shot by a gun, or usually one of those two things, right? Chewed up by a tractor or shot by a gun. Well, the truth of it is that's a lot quicker than a situation like a cow having, or a pig having to go into a slaughter truck, crammed in with a bunch of other animals, driven down a road for fucking hours on end while all their friends are shitting on top of their head, and fucking he's sitting in his own shit and blood, and everyone's screaming and crying, and it's torturous. Then you get to a fucking torture center. It's basically like fucking, you know, being a Jew when Hitler was in reign. You know what I mean? There's all this fucking shit you gotta go through, and then you finally die, and you hope you die a quick death, but really you don't, because you get a bolt to the head, but it didn't even really kill you. It just made you fucking half retarded, and now you got down the lane, you got your legs ripped off, and your organs are getting ripped out, and you're still conscious. Like, dude, that shit can get fucking insanely torturous. That's nothing in comparatively to the type of death that's happening on a farm to a small rodent or insect, right? It's just not the fucking same. It's so much more intense and horrifying when you get into slaughterhouses and what's going on with animal agriculture. So to focus on the rodents and insects that are being killed with, you know, carrots and potatoes, and to say that, well, you can't eliminate all death, so what's the point of eliminating death at all? It's just a silly way to think about it. You have to understand that it's all about eliminating as much as ideologically as possible as you can. And every day, ideally, you're eating 3 meals a day. And you can make the easy choice to change what's on your plate. And there's two things that are working for you, you know. There's the fact that you want to have as least death as possible, because why do you want to be an asshole? You know what I mean? We're all fucking animals on this planet. We're just a bunch of different species. Some fucking species of animals are assholes. We don't got to be one of them as humans. That's all I'm saying. We can treat all the other living things and species with respect and look out for the Mother Earth. And by doing that, we've got to first stop going in the direction of more death. And that's what we did when we decided to start farming animals agriculturally and basically doing the factory production of animals across the globe. We should eliminate that, and then maybe start focusing on the smaller things that we can change. You know, we may not be able to ever reach a point where we can eliminate all death, but at least we can fucking go as far as we can in the direction of as least death as possible. So I'm gonna fucking eat this plate of vegetables. That's the only point I wanted to make, and that's basically that, yeah, death is happening no matter what. But the amount of death and the type of death and the degree of death that is happening in animal agriculture and in slaughterhouses is not comparable to the type of death that is happening to rodents and small animals on farms. And not only that, but the same exact death that is happening to insects and small rodents on farms is still happening when you're eating animal products, because they had to grow plant foods first, grain, to feed the animals, to fucking fatten them up, to make them grow meat on their bones for you to eat anyways. So it's a double whammy, and it doesn't make sense to follow that ideology of that's why you should just fucking eat a bunch of death. Anyways, this is Hundo. Sorry you can only see half my head. I'm out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.